Authorities in Buckingham County continue their search for a man who held up a convenience store at gunpoint today. We'll have the latest.
There are new charges tonight against a Charlottesville man facing trial for an attack against a UVA student. We'll tell you what they are.
And we'll take a look back at the events that shaped UVA in 1999. The news starts now.
This is Dateline 29 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Henry in tonight for Dave Cupp.
And I'm Kristen Jackson in for Stacy Horst. Our top story tonight, police are looking for a man who robbed a Buckingham County convenience store tonight at gunpoint. It happened here at the Poor Boys convenience store near Dillwyn around 9:30. The owner of the store says the robber hit him in the back with a gun and then took off in a pickup truck with over $3,000. Police believe there are 2 other suspects involved in this robbery. If you have any information about this crime, please call Buckingham County Crime Stoppers at 804-969-1847. A Charlottesville man faces new charges in connection with the rape of a University of Virginia student. A grand jury has certified 10 new charges, including abduction and firearm charges in the case against Monterey Davis. Davis is accused of raping and robbing the student during an August incident at her Venable home. Police say they can link Davis to the attack through DNA samples taken from the crime scene. Davis faces 16 charges in all. His trial is set for April.
Today, the elected officials for Orange County took their oaths of office in a morning ceremony. Constitutional officers, school board members, and the new county supervisors were sworn in. For Acting Sheriff C.G. Feldman, this was his second time going through the process.
Even though I was sworn in back in April or in late March, it means a whole lot more to me now because I did go through the election process, and it just seems to be real at this time. Being sworn in.
Feldman faced a lot of controversy during his bid for the seat, but the event was made special for another reason as well. Circuit Judge Lloyd Sullenberger presided over the ceremony. Sullenberger recently announced his retirement from the bench, and this was the last swearing in he'll preside over in Orange County. January 1st doesn't just ring in the new millennium. It's also the first day of work for Albemarle County's new sheriff. Former State Senator Ed Robb takes the reins on Saturday. He's a Republican like current Sheriff Terry Hawkins. Robb says he's making progress with the crime prevention plans made during his campaign.
The military-style boot camp program, I'm extremely excited about that, and I'm working in the direction of putting that into place. I'm going to be meeting with the juvenile domestic relation court judges and the teachers and the school administration to try to get that initiative off the ground.
Robb also says he's been getting a lot of positive feedback about his idea to start up a volunteer horseback patrol. Charlottesville had a mounted patrol, but it was disbanded earlier this year. Robb says he's working with former City Police Chief Deke Bowen to start a similar program in his county's sheriff's office. Well, typically, Virginia governors crossing over the midpoint of their term face descriptions like lame duck.
But that doesn't seem to be the case for Governor Jim Gilmore. Jeff Krause reports on some of the reasons behind that.
A recently released poll conducted by the Richmond Times-Dispatch finds that 95% of those asked rank Governor Gilmore's job performance between fair and excellent. Not bad, says Gilmore, who's halfway through his non-renewable 4-year term.
We only have one 4-year term, and it's true that in contemporary society that hampers you. No other state in America has a 1-year term. But nonetheless, we are accomplishing a great deal. We've cut taxes, we've emphasized education, we're taking dramatic efforts on behalf of technology. We're bringing people together and unifying the state, crossing racial lines everywhere and bringing people together. So I think we've accomplished a lot, and we have a lot more to do.
But typically, the governor is considered a lame duck by this point in his term. However, that's not the case this time around, with his party claiming control of both houses of the General Assembly.
It's terrific news for Jim Gilmore because it means he won't be a lame duck. This guarantees him that the second half of his term may be as productive or even more productive than the first half of his term. That's why it's very significant to him.
I'm very glad about it. I'm very glad that we have a Republican majority, but it truly is more for the people and for their democracy than it is for me as governor, because I think that the Republicans are very much free spirits. They are all over the place in terms of issues.
At the state capitol, I'm Jeff Krause, Dateline 29 News.
If you received holiday gifts that would look better back in the store than in your house, make sure you know your rights before you return the items. Every store can set its own return policy, but state law requires a sign that outlines the rules. Return the gift as quickly as possible. Some stores have a time limit. And find out if the store gives cash or store credit. You'll have better luck getting cash if you bring the receipt. If you've got questions about Virginia's consumer laws, you can call the number on your screen. That's 1-800-552-9963. Greene County's animal shelter has something to cheer about this holiday, a drop in euthanasia rates.
Meredith Grabois explains how 2 groups are helping move animals out of the shelter and into good homes.
Yes, it's a good boy. It's a good dog.
Deborah Hodnick is thankful this time of year for her new companion, Cooper.
He was on the list to be put down, so if Snips hadn't taken him, I wouldn't have Cooper today.
SNIPS stands for Spay, Neuter, Incentive Project and Sanctuary. The group and another called Companion Animal Rescue Effort, or CARE, have helped reduce Greene County's euthanasia rates by 25%.
Prior to '99, we pretty religiously euthanized every other week. And now, since these 2 groups have come aboard, we eliminate a lot of weeks that we don't euthanize.
Well, it got started with me taking in pretty much every stray that came my way and realizing that there was a whole lot more that needed to be done.
Puppies are usually the first to find new homes. You can see why. But older dogs aren't always appealing to potential pet owners. SNIPS focuses on placing these young adults.
Some of the dogs go very quickly, where I'll have them about a month, and others I'll have 2 or 3.
For Deborah Hodnick, it's hard to believe anyone would want to give up an Australian Shepherd like Cooper.
For whatever reason he was given up to the shelter, people didn't know what they had. He is a special dog.
He certainly is. In Greene County, Meredith Grabois, Dateline 29 News.
Now, SNIPS charges an adoption fee which helps pay for shots and other pet care needs. An application and home visits are also required. For parents with school-aged children, problems can arise when schools need to close early. The Charlottesville Parent-Teacher Organization and the City Public Schools have come up with a solution. A new snow mail program sends early school dismissal information through electronic mail. Parents with access to email can sign up by sending a message to cptoc@avenue.org. Again, to get notice about early dismissal, send an email to cptoc@avenue.org. And if you missed that, give us a call and we'll give it to you. Well, we could see a little snow in the form of flurries tonight.
Robert has the latest.
That's right. It looks like we could see some more snow activity here this evening. I'll be right back with the weather forecast and a look at who might get how much snow right after this.
Mitsubishi 000-01 event. Buy one for 0 down. 0 payments. 0 interest until the year 2001. That's right, 000-01. Not just 60 or 90 days. The Galant, car and driver's #1 ranked family sedan. The Montero Sport, the brand that won the Dakar Rally 5 times. The totally new Eclipse, the Sport Coupe ranked by Consumer Digest as a best buy. Mitsubishi 000-01 event. No down, no interest, no payments, no kidding until 2001.
I'm from a small town. My parents told me that if I studied hard, I could do whatever I wanted to do. I was valedictorian, but I still didn't know how I would pay for college. I was surprised. I was very happy when I found out I got this scholarship from Walmart.
We as a company care about our community. They're our friends, our neighbors, our employees.
I think I have a very bright future.
The Competitive Edge program definitely will make the world a better place.
I'm so grateful that Walmart gave me the scholarship because it really has changed my life.
Now Virginia has 2 ways to save for college. In addition to the guaranteed prepaid tuition program, the new Education Savings Trust offers the same Virginia tax deduction. You can choose from 7 different investment funds. Save for tuition, books, room and board for kids of any age, even in college or graduate school, anywhere in the country. Call us toll-free or visit our website to find out more about Virginia's college savings plan. There's nothing else like it.
Give them the world for free. Give your family and friends the internet this holiday season. The online worlds of shopping, stock trades, games, music, sports, education, and more. With your new Cornerstone Network's internet service, you get the world through the best locally owned service provider. Easy setup, 7-day-a-week top-rated tech support, and 10 megabytes of web space along with free setup, free first-month service, and 3 free email boxes. What other gift can give so much? Give them the world this holiday season. Cornerstone Networks, pure internet.
I'm right here, okay, I'm right here.
On January 10th, Third Watch moves to Mondays, 10, 9 Central.
It's gonna be all right.
On January 10th, see the heroes who get there first.
You can't hit people in the head with a hammer. You got a problem, you call us.
Get down, damn it!
You gotta go now!
You're supposed to help people. Third Watch is a People's Choice nominee for favorite new drama. You can't take your eyes off the screen. On January 10th, Third Watch moves to Mondays, 10, 9 Central on NBC.
New Year's Eve, the new millennium begins with NBC. Live from around the world with special editions of Today, NBC Nightly News, and Dateline NBC. For continuing coverage, watch MSNBC. What it means to the global markets on CNBC. Plus local reports on your NBC station. Join Tom Brokaw and Katie Couric live in Times Square. On the air, on cable, and on the internet. The new millennium starts on the networks and stations of NBC.
Can you believe that? 2,000 in just 4 more days. Hey, before we get to the weather, I want to thank a few folks for helping Kids Cafe, our designated charity, receive such wonderful support from all of you. Take a look at these names on the screen here. We've been thanking folks all month long. These folks have just mailed in their checks, and they will be we will be forwarding the money to the Thomas Jefferson Area Food Bank and the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. There you can see some very generous people, and we really do think that a lot of you folks have really gotten in the spirit this year. We will be accepting donations right on through Friday, right to the end of this week. So if you'd like to make a last-minute donation to the Kids Cafe program, that's a grassroots organization that helps feed at-risk children in this area, we'll take your check. We'll thank you on the air, and we'll give it right to the food bank. And thanks to all of you, we have now raised over $14,998.80. Then that's really fabulous news. That's a lot more than I thought we were going to do, so I sure do thank all of you. All right, let's get a look at our weather right now. Currently in Charlottesville, it's 39 degrees, cloudy skies, 40% humidity. We have low humidity now just above us. It is actually snowing in the clouds right above us, so it'll take a little while, but eventually I think the air will become a little more saturated, and we may see some snow activity this evening. I'll tell you about that in a second. In the barometer, 29.79. High temperature today, 42, overnight low of 31, and in the valley, basically the same numbers as well. Here's the current statistics for the valley, 37 degrees, low humidity right now, but that will be coming up a little bit. Southwest winds at 9 and 29.76 for the barometer. All right, let's take a full screen look then at what's going on across the area, starting with our state radar picture. You can see that we are picking up a little bit of activity in southwestern Virginia, fairly organized line of precipitation there. This is snow, and some of this is also falling as a form of snow, but it's still out yet from the jury as to whether any of this is reaching the ground. I haven't had any calls from this part of the state, of course, but it does look like some snow activity may begin to arrive from all of this, as you can see, in the next couple of hours. And what's going on? Well, we've got another very similar pattern to what we saw on Christmas Eve. That is one of these Alberta clippers, one of these fast-moving, low-pressure areas that comes diving out of Canada. It's got a little bit of moisture with it, but it's a real vigorous low-pressure area. As it works its way across the Ohio Valley, comes in contact with the mountains, gets a little extra lift, provides a little more condensation, and provides the snow. You can see it across the state. And I think tonight, the Shenandoah Valley, the Blue Ridge Mountains, Wintergreen, Augusta County, very, very similar to what we saw Christmas Eve. We'll probably begin to see some light snow, maybe an inch by tomorrow morning, but not everybody will get that much. Some of it will just be a dusting and pass you by. The thing is, these systems work through very quickly, so it doesn't appear that this will be a big snowmaker for us. Very similar, again, to last Friday. Some folks getting a pretty good amount, others not getting too much. So here's the first system for tonight. As it works across the state, some snow is possible. We're calling it light snow. We're calling it only a chance of it for the wide area, and at that, an inch or less, certainly. And then we get a little bit of a break tomorrow, but the next system is hot on the heels. You can't really see from this particular Doppler radar picture, but snow is falling in the Dakotas. This will come toward us, and by tomorrow night, we'll have more of the same. Another chance of some snow flurries tomorrow night. These systems, folks, are headed to us out of the northwest. They're not coming from the Gulf. The big snows here always come from this direction, not this direction. High temperatures tomorrow in the 30s, 20s, and teens to the north of us, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty cold couple of days before we warm up a bit by the end of the week. High temperature tomorrow, 36 degrees, variable cloud, some snow showers, another round of them again tomorrow night for central Virginia. For the Shenandoah Valley, forecast tomorrow, 36 degrees, variable clouds, and again another round of some light snow activity tomorrow night. Here's your 5-day forecast, checking it out for the next couple of days. Look at this, the last day of 1999. Going for a high in the mid-50s. That's not too bad.
Like spring.
Unfortunately, the next frontal system is expected to arrive on Friday, and that may actually bring a shot of rain for the last day of the year. So we'll see. It's not certain yet.
But it's looking good.
It's looking pretty good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
Still ahead tonight, we'll review some of the stories that impacted the University of Virginia this year.
Including the swelling controversy over the school's policy on race and admissions when Dateline 29 News continues.
There is a time for action and a time for adventure. That time is now. Toyotathon 2000. Hurry to this blockbuster event for great Toyota values. Your ride to the new millennium is here. Are you ready to go? Right now, you can lease a RAV4 for $239 a month for 36 months with $2114 due at signing. Get to Toyotathon 2000, now playing exclusively at your Toyota dealer.
It all ends this Thursday, the biggest after-holiday sale ever at Grand. If you've ever thought about buying new furniture, this is your chance to save up to 20, 40, even 50% on sofas, recliners, dinettes, bedding, and more. Save up to 50% on new styles, up to 50% on top name brands. Plus, get free delivery and setup. But hurry if you want savings of up to 50%. Grand's after-holiday sale ends Thursday. Grand Home Furnishings, just Grand.
Ryan's Jewelers, 2100 Angus Road, Charlottesville. Diamond sale now in progress.
Visit the Pear Tree Christmas Shop for our annual After Christmas sale. Enjoy savings of 20 to 50% on most of our fabulous selection of Christmas ornaments, including items by Department 56 and Midwest. Our selection of Santas and holiday gifts are also marked down 20 to 50%. Enjoy once-a-year savings at Charlottesville's favorite holiday store, the Pear Tree Christmas Shop at 421 East Main Street on the historic downtown mall.
Science has shown that we use less than 10% of our potential brain power.
Jeopardy supplies you with all of the vital information a strong, healthy mind requires.
Jeopardy stimulates all of your senses with fast-paced action, exciting categories, and the lure of spectacular prizes like exotic trips and cool cars.
Knowledge is power. Your mind is the engine, and Jeopardy is the fuel.
Use your head. Watch Jeopardy.
Weeknights at 7:30 on NBC 29.
Well, 1999 was a year of controversy and accomplishment for the University of Virginia.
Keenan Howell tells us what the turn of the century brought to UVA.
The fabric that forms the University of Virginia would be torn and mended in 1999. On several occasions, students and faculty rallied for the causes they believe in.
We won't go back, right? Right. We won't go back.
Perhaps the most visible issue to confront the university was the use of race as a consideration in admissions. Supporters spoke out.
It's not like this is just a black fight going on or a woman fight going on, but you see a diverse group of people that lets you know that this really is for the benefit of everyone.
And critics spoke up.
We think that it's wrong for a school to discriminate on the basis of skin color.
2 years after their involvement in the assault of Sandy Corey, seen here, 3 men were suspended from the university. At a rally a few months earlier, many students said the men should be expelled. 2 of the men who were suspended are suing the university. Students and faculty in favor of an $8 an hour minimum wage for all UVA employees also chanted out their frustrations.
Living wage! Now!
For many, the start of the UVA football season was a welcome distraction. The games offered glimpses of a semi-renovated Scott Stadium. The addition of 15,000 seats and several other new features came with a hefty price tag.
$79 million.
Construction on the stadium should be complete by fall of next year. 1999 was a year in which university curriculum thoroughly incorporated a little tool called the Internet. UVA students and faculty didn't just surf the web, they made the waves, designing sites that are getting noticed outside the world of academia. And last November's eSummit at Virginia showcased some UVA alumni who've hit the big time on the World Wide Web, with sites like Yahoo, CNET, and iVillage.com. These cyber celebrities say they expect more UVA grads to join their ranks in the very near future. And that's a look back at 1999, the year in review for the University of Virginia. Keenan Howell, Dateline 29 News.
Well, the Virginia Tech Hokies head to the Big Easy today. We'll have the latest as Virginia Tech prepares for the Sugar Bowl.
And the Redskins squeaked by with a win last night. John Havey will have the recap in sports up next.
Once in a while, a car comes along that's really worth pursuing. A car with features like an automatic transmission, alloy wheels, ABS, a security system, and more, all offered at a price that has proven to be very elusive. Of course, you have to see such a car. To not would be criminal. The Special Edition Accord from Honda. Now get APR financing as low as 3.9% APR for 36 months on new 4-cylinder Accord sedans.
People don't like to jump into things. It's a fact of life and wireless service. That's why at Suncom, we don't expect you to. So first, we sit down and get to know you. We find out what you really need. Then we ease you into the plan that feels just right for you. We're Suncom. We're a member of the AT&T Wireless Network, and we get it.
A new home is built every 21 seconds. Americans sent 900 million Valentines last year. We're investing more money in education than ever before.
Get in focus. 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 Where are you going? Going. How do you get there? Get there. The all-new Ford Focus. Everything you need to drive. Even elbow room for 5. Focus, priced at $12,900 with standard AM/FM stereo cassette. Only your local Ford dealer has it.
I get real angry, Your Honor,
get
because
angry.
there's things my son wants. And if his father would pay his support...
Do you get any argument from me?
No, ma'am.
You're absolutely right.
What Judge Judy thinks of deadbeat dads.
I used to put them in jail. And I used to say to them as they were walking out the door that in civil jail where they were going, they dug graves for elephants.
Justice with an attitude. Judge Judy.
Tomorrow morning at 11 on NBC 29.
And we got Christmas out of the way. Now we can concentrate on the bowl fever.
Oh, yeah. And Virginia Tech is on their way to the Big Easy.
I would say Hokies fans have a good case of bowl fever right about now, judging from all the people that are getting ready to head down there. And there's already a lot of people in New Orleans. Now, the national title matchup between Virginia Tech and Florida State, now just 8 days away. Now, Hokie fans everywhere, they're pretty much whipped into a frenzy at this point. In fact, a couple hundred Tech supporters were on hand this afternoon at the New Orleans airport to welcome the team into town. When the plane arrived this morning, there was even a band on the tarmac to greet the second-ranked Fighting Gobblers. A big cheer went up when the plane door opened, and the team, led by head coach Frank Beamer, spent some time talking to their assembled supporters before hopping onto the bus and heading to the team hotel. And the Hokies aren't wasting any time now that they're in New Orleans. They already had their first practice this afternoon. Now, Coach Beamer says he wants his players to have fun while they're in New Orleans, but he also wants them to remain focused on the task in front of them, which is taking on the top-ranked Seminoles, who, by the way, don't arrive in New Orleans until tomorrow at 4 p.m. By that time, Virginia Tech will already have 2 practices and a night out on the town under their belts. Now, by the time the Redskins took the field last night to battle it out with the San Francisco 49ers, they'd already locked up a spot in the playoffs because of a couple other teams losing earlier in the day. But the Niner game was far from meaningless because a victory would clinch the NFC East title for the Skins. Now, last night could have been the final home game in a 49er uniform for wide receiver extraordinaire Jerry Rice, but it was another receiver that was doing the damage in the third quarter. Niners up by 3. Jeff Garcia scrambles, then finds J.J. Stokes in the back of the end zone. 20-10, the Niners were up. Norv Turner vexed. But in the fourth quarter, Redskins within 7 and driving. Brad Johnson hits Irving Fryer, who stretches out to make the big catch. That set up a Brad Johnson 1-yard quarterback sneak for the touchdown. This thing went to overtime because of this. Late in the fourth quarter, Niners in field goal range, but rookie Terry Jackson fumbles the ball. The Redskins recover. Redskins under Daniel Snyder pretty happy about it. In the overtime, Johnson, an incredible night. Here he finds Skip Hicks. Hicks breaks a couple of tackles for the big gain. Then a couple plays later, Johnson's going to find his other running back, or one of his other running backs, Larry Centers, wide open. He goes 33 yards untouched for the game-winning touchdown. Brad Johnson, 471 yards passing in this thing. That's a Redskins record as Washington wins 26-20. Now to college football action from this afternoon. Let's get to the Motor City Bowl between BYU and Marshall. BYU head coach Lavelle Edwards' Cougars found themselves trailing 7-3 after a half, and things got worse in the third. Kevin Federick sacked by Michael Owens. He's forced to leave the game with a bruised clavicle. He would not come back. And meanwhile, Marshall, when they have the ball, Doug Chapman already had a 30-yard touchdown reception. We'll check this out. Breaking a couple tackles, stays on his feet. He's going 87 yards, this time for the rushing touchdown. And it's 14-3 Marshall into the fourth quarter. Now, Brett Engelman, that's the man who replaced Kevin Federick. Here he is, intercepted by Rogers Beckett. Mr. Chapman would come onto the field, score again from 1 yard out, his third touchdown of the game. The Thundering Herd finishes the season 13-0. with a 21-3 victory over BYU. Finally this evening, the Virginia women's hoop squad back in action tonight for the first time since a big 67-62 win over intra-state rival Virginia Tech back on December 20th. The 5-4 Cavs will be playing just their second game in the last 17 days over at University Hall against a Siena squad that has won just 2 of their first 8 games this season. Siena finished last year with a record of 22-9, but just 1 starter returns from that team. This is the first of 3 home games this week for Debbie Ryan's crew. They also play on Wednesday and Thursday night in the Nationwide Classic, first against Butler, then against Syracuse. But back to Siena, we'll have highlights and post-game reaction from this one tonight at 11. And another thing I've got to mention, we saw the Hokies getting into town. The Cavaliers got into Miami yesterday, or I guess, what was yesterday? Christmas Day, I guess they got in. Well, I'm going down to join them tomorrow, and I'll have full reports for the rest of the week.
Great.
And I'll stay for that game as well.
I'll bet you will.
Look for me on the sideline.
All right, we'll be right back.
It's the final countdown. We must reduce excess inventory by December 31st. That makes the last 6 days the best 6 days of the year to buy at Colonial Auto Center. Hundreds of quality used vehicles, all prices clearly marked with huge discounts. 99 Taurus and Sables from just $12,599, or 97 Jimmys and Blazers from only $14,995. Hurry, the final countdown ends December 31st.
Colonial Auto Center, you want it, we've got it.
Rollin', 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 keep those prices rollin'. Rollin', 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 roll back. Roll 'em back, move 'em out, move 'em out, roll 'em back, roll 'em back, move 'em out, roll back.
We're rolling back prices all over the store. Just look for Smiley to save even more. Walmart.
Move 'em out, roll back.
Always low prices.
Yeah.
In today's world, there's so much turmoil now. How do you get the information you need? Tom Brokaw and NBC Nightly News, America's news leader.
Cars, 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 and more cars. Trucks, vans, SUVs, as far as you can see. Now at the grand opening of Brown Auto Supercenter. Hundreds of pre-owned cars inspected, certified, guaranteed. All with Brown's 7-day, 1,000-mile exchange program. Grand opening sale priced. The car with your name on it now at Brown Auto Supercenter on Route 29 by the post office. You're going to love it.
Brown, you love the service.
Tomorrow morning, get connected with the news you need. Dateline 29 News at sunrise.
For millions of people, the year 2000 is a big deal. We're reaching a landmark year, and it's time to cash in on the novelty of the event. Hello, everyone. I'm Abina Foreman.
And I'm Bill Duvall. Remembering where you were when the new year began means trinkets, memorabilia, and money. We'll have more on that coming up. Plus, we'll have weather and sports. Join us.
Make the connection tomorrow morning. Dateline 29 News at sunrise.
Closed captioning for this Dateline 29 newscast is brought to you through a grant from Wolf and Farmer, attorneys concentrating in Social Security disability cases.
They were not panicking, but there is some snow maybe, huh?
It's Virginia. It might snow. We're panicking. Now, we have some light snow headed away. There are no watches. There are no warnings. There are no advisories posted, but it is possible we could see a dusting to an inch of snow in some places by tomorrow morning.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, have a good night.
See you later.
High anxiety for the first time ever. Round-the-clock terror alert at the CIA. In New York, how to protect America's biggest party in Times Square. In depth tonight, fears about domestic terror. An FBI report on what to expect, the worst-case scenarios. And our series, Images of the Year. A look back at the compelling moments of '99. Tonight, that stunning rescue above an Atlanta inferno.
NBC News World Headquarters in New York. This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. So far, that extraordinary terrorist alert across America is just that, an alert. From the highest reaches of official Washington to the most remote border crossing. And while authorities are taking no chance